Delaware.
Now live.
This is News 10 Today.
Counselors will help students at a Salem County school deal with the violent death of a 10-year-old student. A 19-year-old neighbor is charged with the girl's murder.
News this morning of the death of Linda McCartney, wife of former Beatle Paul McCartney. She lost a battle with cancer.
4 Marines charged with causing a fatal cable car accident in Italy face a military hearing today in North Carolina. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to News 10 Today. I'm Yuzi Brown, Washington, sitting in this morning for Connie Cola.
I'm Steve Levy, 6 a.m., April the 20th. Good Monday morning to you.
Good Monday morning. That means a lot of people are hitting the road trying to get to work.
Let's help them. In the traffic center, Mark Davies. Good morning, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Good morning, Steve, and good morning, Yuzi. Actually, so far this morning, most of the roads are doing okay. Let's look at one of them, which is 95 around Breed Street. Southbound 95 looks good if you commute into the city, and if you get across town the Vine Expressway, that's okay, too. If you want to take a look at that, certainly welcome to. Schuylkill eastbound, though, that's a bit of a problem around Montgomery Drive. There's an overturned, well, it's an accident involving, looks like an overturned food cart, so watch out for that. In the News 10 Metro Traffic Center, I'm Mark Davies for News 10. Now let's check your forecast. Here's Bill Henley at the Shriners Hospital for Children this morning. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Mark, where they're unveiling their new mural here today in the lobby. It is a beauty. And our weather happens to be doing pretty good, too. Not quite as sunny or cloud-free as the mural shows, but we are on the way. Our forecast for today is calling for the clouds to break. We will get some sunshine, and it will be breezy this afternoon. But in spite of it all, we're heading up to 64 degrees today. Should be a nice day ahead. The 5-day forecast is coming up.
Thank you, Bill. In the news this morning, counselors are going to be available at a school in South Jersey today to try to help the students deal with the murder of a 10-year-old classmate.
A 19-year-old neighbor is charged with killing the little girl. Police arrested William McPherson III early yesterday. He's being held at the Salem County Jail in lieu of a $500,000 bail. McPherson is charged with murdering 10-year-old Crystal Carlson of Alloway Township. The child was last seen walking home from school on Friday.
The investigation has determined that contact was made between the defendant and Crystal as she was walking home. State police detectives are pursuing leads to determine what happened after that point.
According to a preliminary autopsy report, Carlson was strangled, but there are no signs she was sexually abused. Authorities found her body beside a road just a couple of miles from her school.
Linda McCartney, Paul McCartney's wife of almost 30 years, has lost her battle with cancer at the age of 56. And we all came to know Linda Eastman when she first married the Beatle, Paul McCartney, in 1969. Already a successful photographer, the couple went on to form the group known as Wings. In the 80s, Linda devoted her time and talents to promoting a vegetarian lifestyle, publishing a vegetarian cookbook and launching her own line of vegetarian frozen foods. She was first diagnosed with breast cancer in December of '95, and last month the cancer spread to her liver. On Friday she died, her family by her side.
Yeah, it was just a big shock because everybody thought, gee, she's doing so good.
Paul McCartney is asking that instead of flowers, people send their donations to cancer research or animal welfare organizations. And Mexico's foremost literary figure has died. Octavio Paz was 84 years old. Mexico's president announced the death, but didn't say when he died or what the cause was. Paz won the Nobel Prize in 1990 for his poetry and his essays exploring the Mexican mind.
President Clinton returned to Washington early this morning after a 4-day trip to Chile. President Clinton took part in the second Summit of the Americas in Santiago. The summit focused on free trade. Mr. Clinton and 33 other heads of state agreed to move forward with plans to launch a free trade zone spanning all of North, Central, and South America by the year 2005. 4 Marines are facing possible court-martial today in North Carolina. They're charged with involuntary manslaughter and negligent homicide in connection with a deadly cable car accident in Italy back in February. During a routine mission over the Italian Alps, their jet severed a cable wire and a ski gondola fell to the ground. 20 people were killed. Military investigators have said the Marines were flying too low and too fast. Today's military hearing is the equivalent of a civilian grand jury. In Florida, 2 pilots are dead after a mid-air collision at an air show. This is home video of that collision. During the opening act, 2 biplanes performing aerobatics collided and crashed into an open field. The planes were about 1,500 feet in the air. No one on the ground, fortunately, was hurt. And a small plane carrying 300 pounds of marijuana crashed in a Detroit baseball field last night after customs planes chased it for about 1,500 miles. Witnesses say some people who came to help actually ran away with bundles of pot while the pilot lay dying. Officials say the pilot was apparently trying to escape across the nearby Canadian border but ran low on fuel and crashed while trying to make an emergency landing Sunday night.
Well, you might recall it was an unusual entry into the world, but Dolly, the cloned sheep, is going to have her own lamb the old-fashioned way. London's Sunday Times is reporting that, yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Dolly is pregnant. She, of course, made history when scientists cloned her from the cell of another sheep, but if she gives birth to a healthy lamb, of course, this is going to mean that the cloning process did not affect Dolly's fertility.
A lot of people are going to be watching to see exactly what happens.
Exactly.
All right. Now you need to watch to find out what's happening on your roadways.
And for that, we go to the traffic center. Mark Davies, good morning.
Good morning, Steve, and good morning, Yuzi. Most of the major roads are cooperating, but the Schuylkill's the exception. It always kind of seems to be. Let's look at 76 by about Spring Garden. Now, coming toward us, we're doing fairly well. The problem is eastbound around Montgomery Drive. That's Spring Garden right there. Montgomery eastbound. Only the right lane gets past an accident. It's involving an accident involving an overturned food cart, it looks like, so watch out for stuff there on the highway. You're jammed up eastbound from the boulevard on through just east of Montgomery Drive. Just one lane gets past this. 95 looks good. Great trip across the bridges. And the freeway, despite the construction northbound around 55, you're okay there. In the News 10 Metro Traffic Center, I'm Mark Davies for News 10.
Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome.
All right. Want to take a closer look at what's going on with the weather today?
It's going to get better. Is that right, Mr. Henley?
I think we are in for a decent day today. Yesterday, we got our share of rain, plenty of clouds and rain and some thunderstorms, but today that stuff is pulling away. So we may start with some clouds, but sunshine is on the way. If you're on your way, well, you may need to bundle up this morning because it's a little chilly outside. 48 degrees with cloudy skies. Those clouds will break. We'll get some sun. It will be breezy and up to 64 this afternoon. Then tonight, clear and dropping down to 44 degrees. Here's what's going on. The radar shows that the rain is indeed pulling away. Still some showers in northwestern Pennsylvania, and there's an outside chance some of those could swing through here, but seem to be pulling off to the north at about the same pace they're coming east, so I think most of us will stay dry, and we're going to get a good deal of sunshine, especially this afternoon. So things are shaping up. Our forecast calls for clouds this morning, sunshine increasing during the day, and breezy through this afternoon, especially early this afternoon, with winds up to 25 miles an hour. 64 will be it today. A little bit warmer tomorrow, lots of sunshine, and up to 69 degrees. Not a bad day on Wednesday with a high of 68. Nice and mild on Thursday, up to 70 degrees. And hanging around that 70-degree mark, almost there on Friday with a combination of clouds and sunshine. This morning, we're down at Shriners Hospital for Children in Philadelphia, and this is the reason why. This beautiful new mural that Bill Whiting has done for them is being unveiled, and it's going to get a little national exposure as well. That's because our buddy Willard Scott is coming down to show everybody across the country this fabulous piece of artwork. Steve, Yuzi?
What time is Willard set to arrive there, you know?
He is due in probably in the next few minutes, I think.
Okay.
Think he'll stop and talk to you?
I don't know. We'll
Maybe
see.
if you hold a sign and ask nicely.
We have food here, so I suspect he'll be in a good mood.
Hey, I'll be right down.
We talk to you. Thanks a lot, Bill.
8.5 minutes after 6 o'clock, sports is coming your way when we come right back. And sorry to tell you, Reggie White going to pack it in. We'll see why he's quitting the NFL.
But first, let's take a look back at this day in history. It was in 1996, Russia and leaders of the world's 7 richest democracies agreed to stop nuclear testing by that fall and pledged to take steps to keep nuclear materials out of the wrong hands.
Today on News 10, First at 4, with Renee Chenault and Larry Menti. Philadelphia's first news at 4 p.m.
Philadelphia has a new gun czar. Richard Zappelli's first day on the job, and he's in Washington with Mayor Rendell. What they'll do to make your neighborhood safer, plus the surprising group they'll meet. It's all on First at 4.
More live, local, late-breaking news for Philadelphia. Today on News 10, First at 4.
Mothers, they love to hear from their children. And suddenly they're getting their wish. In fact, they're getting more calls every Sunday than they do on Mother's Day itself. Why is that? MCI 5-cent Sundays.
accident there. A car spun out of control. Now, this is the bridge coming up from Lincoln Drive to City Avenue, the ramp. So you can see that there is a delay in that area. And again, some of the roads are wet, so allow a little extra time. Also some patchy fog around this morning. Currently in Philadelphia, we have cloudy skies, 50 degrees, and AccuWeather says clouds will give way to sunshine this afternoon. Our afternoon high, 65 degrees, and things will continue to dry out here as well as the south. We'll check the AccuWeather 5-day forecast and also show you some of the damage to the storms to the south over this weekend.
All right. In the news this morning, counselors will be on hand later today to speak with distraught students at Alloway Elementary School in South Jersey. That after the brutal slaying of one of their classmates this past weekend. Police have arrested 19-year-old William Francis McPherson III in connection with the murder of a young girl in Salem County. McPherson's home is about a block away from the school where 10-year-old Crystal Carlson was last seen. The fourth grader was last seen leaving Alloway Elementary School Friday afternoon, according to witnesses.
Contact was made between the defendant and Crystal as she was walking home. State police detectives are pursuing leads to determine what happened after that point.
Police believe Crystal's battered body was dumped here along the road sometime after 3 a.m. Saturday. She'd been stabbed and strangled to death. Early autopsy reports show no signs of sexual assault, and investigators say they have no evidence that the victim and the suspect knew each other. Meantime, the death of Crystal Carlson has stunned the rural community where she lived. Residents who once felt safe say they will now begin locking their doors. Folks who live in the small town of Alloway Township are now keeping a closer eye on their children. Fear has replaced their previous feeling of security here.
This is why people want to live in the country. You know, they think they're safe here, but apparently that's not so.
The family of the slain little girl gathered yesterday at a relative's home. They are understandably devastated by her murder.
I know it's tearing my brother apart. I know it is. Because that was his little girl.
Family and friends are currently planning a memorial service in honor of little Crystal Carlson.
Homicide detectives say 2 would-be robbers were shot in the city's Logan section last night as the victim pulled out his own gun and fired on them. Police were called to the area of 17th Street and Church Lane last night for a report of a shooting. Officers found one of the alleged robbers shot to death in the 6100 block of North 17th Street. The second was taken to Albert Einstein Medical Center. Detectives say both the alleged robbers were armed. Road rage may be to blame for an accident on the Atlantic City Expressway in Gloucester Township, New Jersey. Police say an aggressive driver in a white pickup truck forced the driver of a Saturn into the opposing eastbound lanes of traffic about noon yesterday. The Saturn hit a Nissan, and that car then collided with this New Jersey Transit bus. The Saturn driver and several passengers on the bus suffered minor injuries. Police are still searching for the driver of the pickup. Well, a nasty crash in Waterford Township has left a woman hospitalized this morning. The unidentified woman was rounding a curve along the White Horse Pike when she lost control. The car crashed into a sign at a Texaco gas station, just missing the gas pumps. It took rescuers about an hour to extricate her from the vehicle. No word yet on her condition.
Some Winfield Heights residents woke up to find obscene letters stuck in their mail slots over the weekend. The letters began as an invitation, allegedly for new members to join a local church. The letter was not signed, but had the pastor's name typewritten at the bottom. But as unsuspecting residents read on, the invitation became X-rated and racially derogatory in its content. Pastor Keith Reed says he believes a former employee who's mentally disturbed is behind the letter writing.
It's sad. It's sad. I think it's really horrendous, and it hurts sometimes because you think about the things you try to do that's right, and then somebody comes along and says something contrary.
Pastor Reed says he doesn't plan to have the man arrested. He says he'd rather try to get psychological help for him instead.
In North Philadelphia, a solemn service remembered victims of the Holocaust. People-filled congregation Rodef Shalom yesterday afternoon. They laid wreaths and lit candles in honor of the people who died, either in or fighting the Holocaust. The service was part of continuing efforts to make sure the horror of that era is never forgotten. Red Cross volunteers received special recognition yesterday. Mayor Ed Rendell offered his appreciation to the volunteers who stepped forward when a crisis hits. Several awards were presented, including the Fire Commissioner's Volunteer of the Year Award. That went to Janice Lufkin of Montgomery County. Janice is a retired nurse. She served in the Vietnam War and is a tireless volunteer and Red Cross leader. Hats off to Janice.
Yeah, congratulations. 6:35 the time now. Time to check a somewhat murky AccuWeather forecast as we start the work week, Cecily.
Yeah, it's a little bit murky this morning. We still have some moisture in the upper atmosphere from the storm system that brought us all of the rain yesterday. That's moving out, and our weather should be clearing as the day wears on. And the entire East Coast finally will be drying out. In Georgia, it was a wild weekend. Peach County, Georgia, a tornado ripped through and literally just snapped trees in half. A lot of damage. Fortunately, no reports of any injuries there. That was all from the tail end of the system that brought us about a 3/4 of an inch of rain. That storm system is now moving off the coast, and we have high pressure that's going to be moving in, replacing this. So that means the clouds will be clearing out as the day wears on, becoming partly to mostly sunny this afternoon, although we will be getting some pretty strong winds out of the northwest. Could be gusting up to about 25 miles per hour. The rain is moving away, though. Action radar showing that it's going finally out of here, but then you look on the left hand of the screen, you can see another batch of precipitation moving across Iowa. That's the storm system that brings our next chance of rain on Wednesday. But Satellite 6 showing that most of the thick clouds with yesterday's storm are off the coast, and we just have overcast skies. You can see clearing over the Ohio Valley. That'll bring us our sunshine. Then this storm system will be moving down to the south on Wednesday, so just a possibility of some showers and some clouds from that. The call from AccuWeather for today, though, we will blow dry as the winds kick up. The roads should be drying off, but be careful this morning because we do have some wet roadways. Yesterday's high, 56 degrees, kind of a miserable day yesterday. Today, quite a bit better, topping off at 65. Allentown right now is 48. Trenton reporting clouds, 47. Atlantic City, 49. And Dover, 50 degrees. We are live on Sky 6, taking a look at the Camden Aquarium this morning through the somewhat hazy scene. Currently in Philadelphia, we have clouds, 50 degrees, humidity still pretty high, 93%. That'll be dropping throughout the morning. Barometer 29.82. It's holding steady. Winds are westerly at 9 miles an hour. The ocean water temperature 50. In the northeast right now, 48. Center City and City Avenue 50. Camden and City Avenue 49. The airport actually is 50. The exclusive AccuWeather 5-day forecast. Clouds will give way to sunshine this afternoon. Our afternoon high, not too bad, up to 65. Tonight's going to be clear and cool. Overnight low, seasonal, 46. And tomorrow, very nice, partly sunny, 67. We run into some trouble on Wednesday. That storm system heading down to the south could bring us some more clouds, some showers, cool us off a little bit. 60, but then on Thursday, a mixture of clouds and sunshine, 62. And Friday turning out partly sunny, topping off at 65 degrees. So compared to last week, this week is going to be very quiet.
Okay. All right, thank you, Cecily. 6:37, still to come on Action News for you on a Monday. Horror in the skies as thousands of spectators watch two planes collide.
And later, how to protect your best friend from the bite of fleas.
Hello, little Poochie. All right, I-95 at Cotman. That's what's live on Sky 6 this morning. And all the traffic coming into the city's heading along just fine. No trouble spots at all. We'll check the rest of traffic and transit and stick around. We'll be right back.
Look who's live.
Ow!
Jennifer Aniston, Leela Rashawn, Jamie Lee Curtis, and later this week,
wild stuff!
We're at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Get it live.
Today at 9 on 6ABC.
What do you want your new family to be like? These twins made headlines advertising for a new mother, someone who will accept your dog.
Yeah, definitely.
Their dying mom has a final plea. Have you found someone?
We're running out of time pretty quick.
Next Oprah.
Today at 4 on 6ABC.
I saw a picture of it on the internet and I was like, wow. The accent had a lot of power. They say that in all the commercials, but it's so fun to drive. I feel really safe in my car because it has the dual airbags, side impact protection. Value is getting exactly what I want for exactly what I want to pay. The pep, power, the suspension, it's just like a video game. If you drive the car, you're definitely going to become a Hyundai believer. I am.
Get in the car at your Hyundai dealer today.
Rock has so much more than you bargained for. Do you love it? I love it. I got it at Ross.
It's the Ross $14.99 swimwear collection. Save up to 75% on the summer's hottest styles.
Do you love it? I love it. I got it at Ross.
The Ross $14.99 swimwear collection. Don't you just love it?
If you got rid of everything in your life that's less than perfect, doesn't quite work.
Oh, this is how it looked. Some of us seeing some light shower activity, but it's leaving, and now it is gone. And we are not expecting a return of any of this activity today because that low-pressure system is moving away from us. Now, what's happening across the rest of the nation? Well, it's actually, it's shrinking down, but it still continues through the northeast. And there's one other system that we're watching, and that is through the middle of the nation right now. And you can see in Iowa they are getting a little bit of significant weather this morning. But we're watching for this system. It should be tracking to our south when it comes in our direction, and that will probably be midweek, so we'll look for that. The temperature is very mild all over the country today, so you really can't go anyplace and freeze. And if you go out to the deserts, 91 degrees, you'll be sweltering. So you can see it looks like April in pretty good stead today. Morning clouds, and we have them out there right now, but by this afternoon, and you could see that on our picture this morning, we should be seeing some partly sunny conditions. Very windy today, though, as that storm system leaves. Winds out of the northwest, 15 to 25 miles an hour. The afternoon high temperature, 65 degrees. Tonight, clear and 44. Nice one coming tomorrow. Sunny skies, 70 degrees. That storm system Wednesday drags a few clouds with it. Maybe the threat of some rain showers on Wednesday and Thursday. Those temperatures holding in the lower 60s. Then on Friday, the system gets out of here completely. We're looking for partly cloudy skies and 68 degrees, and it should be a warmer weekend than that. Of course, we'll be tracking all of that for you. Right now, back to Pat and Yuki.
All right, Carol, thanks.
Thank you, Carol. Our KYW News Time is now 7:01. There is a commute going on out there. Let's see what's happening with it.
And John Valeria is right on top of it. Hi, John.
Hi, Pat. Hi, Yuki. Yep, right on top of it. As you can see, we're looking down onto the cars. This is live, Jersey side, Ben Franklin Bridge, right at the tolls. As you can see, we do have the minor delay at the Toll Booth Plaza now, and you'll find one at the Walt Whitman as well. But over the bridge, we are in very good shape. No delays. We are seeing some slow-moving volumes southbound on I-95 at Bridge Street. That's what we're looking at live right now. And as you can see, southbound is on the right-hand side, essentially slow from Codman, which is north of this, right through this area at Bridge, all the way down to the Center City area at Girard. And that's the latest from the KYW Traffic Center.
John, thank you very much. Good morning again, everyone. For most of us, this is just a regular Monday morning as we get back into our weekday routines. But in one rural part of South Jersey, today will be anything but routine. At the Alloway Elementary School, counselors will be on hand to help the students and staff cope with the murder of one of the students. 10-year-old Crystal Carlson left school on Friday, never to return again. Eyewitness News reporter Colette Cassidy has the story of Crystal's death and her alleged murderer.
This is the man police believe killed 10-year-old Crystal Carlson, allegedly stabbing the fourth grader multiple times, strangling her, then dumping her body on the side of a road.
The New Jersey State Police are announcing the arrest of William Francis McPherson III for the April 17th murder of 10-year-old Crystal Carlson.
New Jersey State Police had McPherson in custody early Sunday morning, then spent the day searching his Cedar Street home, just blocks away from Crystal's home on West Main Street in Alloway, and only 1 block away from her school. The weekend began with an all-out search for the little girl after she was last seen walking the short distance home from school Friday afternoon. Her body was found by a farmer Saturday morning. The weekend now ending with her parents and 2 brothers in mourning. A child's flag that was once in front of their home now gone.
He was a troubled child, a troubled youth. And it's really hard to believe that such a event would even take place, that he was even involved in it.
Some residents of the quiet town were stunned, hearing that a teenage neighbor stands accused of killing the child. Family members had offered a $20,000 reward to find their niece's killer, but state police say it was good detective work that led them to their suspect.
Many of them have children of their own. They know what this would do to a family. And of course, when you're involved in a case like this, you want to bring closure almost immediately. You want to make sure you do the best possible job and bring that individual who's responsible to justice.
New Jersey State Police here in Salem County believe the suspect had contact with Crystal as she was walking home from school, but they're still investigating exactly what happened in the hours following before her body was found off the side of that road. Meanwhile, the 19-year-old suspect is being held at the Salem County Jail on $500,000 cash bail. In Woodstown, I'm Colette Cassidy, Eyewitness News.
A former FBI expert says the ransom note in the JonBenet Ramsey case is a fake, and because of that, he says investigators were prevented from finding the killer. The expert says that the note was, quote, totally ridiculous, an effort to throw police off track. JonBenét's mother says she found the 2.5-page note in their Boulder, Colorado home in December of '96. The former FBI profiler says police believed the letter, so they didn't secure the crime scene for 8 hours. There are no suspects, but evidence may be presented to a grand jury sometime this week. Later this half hour, CBS News correspondent Diana Olick will have some inside details on the JonBenet Ramsey investigation. Her report is coming up at 7:20.
She was a flower child photographer who married the last bachelor in the Beatles, and now Linda McCartney has lost her battle against cancer. With more in her life, here's Jane Robelo.
This morning, Linda McCartney is being remembered for her devoted marriage to former Beatle Paul McCartney and for her social activism. Linda McCartney died Friday of cancer while she was on vacation in California. She was 56 years old. Tom Fenton joins us this morning from London with more. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Jane. Well, Linda McCartney was half of one of the closest and most loving relationships in show business. The young American was the envy of millions of teenage fans when she married the last bachelor in the Beatles. It was a rare thing in show business, a rock-solid marriage.
She was very kind. She's a very kind person, so she's very sensitive and very deep. I just went for her in a big way, that was it. We've never looked back 4 kids later.
They rode together for the last time only 2 days before she died. A statement from Paul McCartney's office said the end came quickly, and that was a blessing.
I look at you with eyes that shine.
A family spokesman said those wanting to send flowers should contribute instead to cancer research or to one of their passionately shared interests, animal rights or vegetarianism. Jane?
And Tom, what's the reaction in London?
Oh, great sorrow. They're big banner headlines in all the tabloid newspapers. You know, the British used to carp about her. She was the American who snatched up the last Beatle, but they learned to love her.
Tom Fenton in London. Thank you. Jane Robelo, CBS News.
A big business merger will sideline a number of employees who have worked for Core States Bank.
Core States and First Union are joining forces, as you know, and there are a number of people joining forces to make sure that displaced workers can find jobs. Eyewitness News reporter Brandon Brooks joins us live with the story this morning from South Philadelphia. Brandon?
Yeah, good morning, Pat. Good morning, Yuki. I'm at 10th and Oregon in South Philadelphia outside a Core States Bank branch that is going to be sold. It's one of the 32 branches that are going to be sold as part of the divestiture deal to allow the First Union Core States merger to go through. People who work inside here are okay. They'll go with whoever buys the bank branch. But a lot of other people are going to be out of jobs. Estimates ranging from 4,500 to 7,500 people losing their jobs. And starting today, Core States and First Union are doing something to help those employees. And joining us right now is Pat Quigley with Core States. What's happened starting today, Pat?
Well, Core States First Union has an unwavering commitment to help displaced employees, and today we're opening up 6 career resource centers throughout the Core States market area.
Now, one of them is at in the old PNB building at 13th and Chestnut in Center City. Broad and Chestnut in Center City. And what do we see in there?
There will be many services available to these employees. There'll be career counselors, there'll be academic advisors, there'll be support staff to help them write resumes, be access to computers. Our basic goal is to try to find employment for every displaced worker, either back in the First Union organization or within the region.
Now, Core States and First Union are shelling out some significant money. It's in the millions of dollars to help this effort. Where's that money go?
Well, there's $16 million specifically set aside for retraining and education. And if an employee within their career plan decides that they need retraining or education, that's what that $16 million will go towards.
And it pays for tuition or?
Yes, tuition.
Where?
Tuition at pretty much any area institution, any vocational school.
Any school where they want to go to get the kind of training they need to move on to the next position.
That's correct.
How many of these soon-to-be displaced workers do you think you can help out?
All of them. I mean, as soon as people get notification, they come down to the Career Resource Center and they'll meet with the career counselor and get the ball rolling.
Okay, thank you very much. Pat Quigley with Core States. That's the story live from South Philadelphia. Pat and Yuki, we'll go back to you in the studio.
All right, Brandon, thanks very
Brandon,
much. Well, this afternoon in Trenton, the New Jersey Assembly is scheduled to vote on its version of auto insurance reform. This measure differs from one approved in the Senate earlier this month because it eliminates state-mandated caps on car insurance premiums for those who live in the cities. That means that suburban and rural drivers can expect to save more than the 15% promised in the Senate bill. However, eliminating
It was.
Well, what happened to him?
It was a very sad day when Rudolph left us.
Oh.
I can't talk about it. It's too emotional.
sorry.
But they're great pets. They really are. They're very low maintenance, and look at that face. Who can resist that face? Just don't let them bite you on the finger. It doesn't feel good. I also had lovebirds too, but that's another whole story. We are here at Rowan University talking about healthy lifestyles. It's Monday morning, and probably all of your Easter candy is gone now, so now you can really get resolved to get in shape. And there's a lot that's available here at Rowan University as far as studying health and fitness and getting your degree in it. But let's talk to somebody who knows about it. This is Dr. Leslie Spencer. Thanks for having us here this morning.
Hi.
And now tell us about the educational majors that are available in this field.
We have a Department of Health and Exercise Science. Students can major in health and physical education, and we have 3 specialization tracks. We have athletic training, teacher certification, and one that I coordinate, which is health promotion and fitness management.
Oh, that sounds very complicated. What kind of job do you get after you major in that?
Well, it's exciting. Health promotion fitness management is a program for students who like working in health education, and fitness, but want to go into corporations, hospitals, community agencies, even commercial facilities.
And there's so many more of these jobs available these days, it seems to me.
There are. We conducted a study last summer and fall, and we identified over 200 employers in this region who employ students in health promotion and fitness management.
Well, that's pretty impressive, and so this is where they get their training here at Rowan.
Right, we were pleased.
All right, now it's time to share some of your knowledge with us and talk about a healthy breakfast this morning, Dr. Spencer.
Sure. One of the things I always like people to think about when choosing foods is a concept called nutrition density, where you're trying to get a lot of nutrients for not a lot of calories and fat. And so we were able to put together some breakfast selections. You see, we've selected some skim milk. It's always a great choice. Fresh fruit. Whole grain bagels. A whole wheat bagel is a terrific choice.
You can have a bagel, all right.
And low-fat butter spreads and low-fat cream cheese, as well as fruit and a whole grain cereal are all good breakfast choices.
So if you're making the low-fat choice, you don't have to feel so deprived like you're not getting anything that tastes good.
Oh, yeah. And I think food choices have improved a lot. The manufacturers have really listened to consumers' concerns for having foods that taste good but are also good for them.
And kids here at college, whether they're majoring in fitness or not, they really are concerned with it too, you find?
Very much so. Our student recreation center is very busy. Any time of day, you'll see a lot of students here. Anytime we offer nutrition programs, I teach a nutrition course, and every semester I'm turning students away because the interest level is so high.
Well, that's great, especially right before spring break.
Absolutely.
When we know why. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Spencer. It's great to talk to you this morning.
Thank you.
All right. You feeling inspired this morning? All right. While you're eating that healthy breakfast, let's take a look at those current conditions for right now. It's cloudy outside, but the sun is starting to peek through a little bit. It's 49 degrees with 98% relative humidity, a steady barometer, and winds out of the west at 6 miles an hour. Cloudy skies right now, but as I said, sunshine increasing as the afternoon goes along. It will be windy today. Be prepared for that when you're doing your due. 63 degrees should be our high. Winds up to 25 miles an hour or more. Tonight, we're talking very chilly with a low of 43 degrees and clear skies, light winds. Tomorrow looks fabulous with a high of 70 degrees and a whole lot of sunshine, a little bit milder than today. So that's it for now from Rowan University. Lots more coming up. Right now, though, time to toss it over to Andrea Laka. She's in the Fox Traffic Center. Hi.
Hi there, Sue. Does Chinese food count as a nutritious breakfast? Leftover from dinner, why not?
I know.
All right, unfortunately, probably not. But we're doing okay out there. We have a lot of traffic for you. That's normal stuff. No bad incidents on the major roads, so that's a good thing. Most roadways do get by pretty well. We can take a look at the 42 freeway northbound. Pretty heavy down there. Also very hazy down there this morning. We do have some pretty heavy volume from around the Black Horse Pike now all the way up through this point, the construction area. 55 has about a half-mile delay up to the 42 merge. I-95 southbound into the city, that's generally jammed from approaching Cottman down to Girard and over to the Roosevelt Boulevard. On the boulevard itself, southbound near Masher, we do have an accident there. Keep in mind the Oxford Circle, we have an accident at Castor and Unruh Avenues. And the Schuylkill Expressway itself getting pretty busy. Westbound heavy from City Avenue all the way out to Conshohocken. Eastbound slows down from the boulevard into Girard. In the Fox Traffic Center, I'm Andrea Latham. Back to you now, Tracy.
Okay, Andrea, thanks. It's 7:35 and time for a look at what's got you talking. A new procedure to treat fibroids has the potential to virtually eliminate the hysterectomy as the cure. A fibroid is nothing more than an overgrowth of muscle on the uterus. The problem is that the muscle can dramatically increase in size, and the result can be severe pain and other problems. Doctors have always treated fibroids by either cutting them off or removing the entire uterus. But physicians at Roxborough Memorial Hospital are using a new technique that has the medical world watching closely. As Dr. Brian McDonough reports, the new procedure is designed to cut the supply of blood to the uterus and kill the fibroids.
In part, I decided that if I was going to have to take 6 to 8 weeks off, it was definitely not going to be recover from a hysterectomy.
Karen Robinson was suffering from severe cramping and bleeding because of fibroids.
Fibroids are benign tumors. They're not cancerous. They tend to affect women in their 30s and 40s mostly, and are associated most commonly with very heavy bleeding as the most common symptom they have. They can also cause infertility.
Today, Karen is undergoing a dramatic new procedure to treat the problem. Her doctor is going to literally starve the uterus of its major blood supply in an effort to kill the fibroids.
The normal uterine tissue gets blood supply from other sources, from the blood vessels that are on the surface of the uterus, from the blood vessel that supplies the ovary, from the blood vessel that supplies the cervix. Those supply the normal uterine tissue.
Here you can see the uterine artery. It is the blood vessel that supplies the uterus. In fact, you may notice there are many branches on it like a tree. These branches are sending blood to the fibroid tumors
so that they can be seen.
Dr. Worthington Kirsch must inject this glue-like solution through a catheter and into Karen's pelvis. The goal is to shut down the vessel. After several attempts, he is able to block it. He is able to hit the uterine artery but avoid the other arteries in the area. Within hours, Karen Robinson will have her fibroid problem resolved.
I really do believe that this procedure will revolutionize the practice of gynecology and the lives of women irreparably for the future.
And that was Dr. Brian McDonough reporting. Karen is doing well, though she is heavily medicated. The procedure causes intense cramping for the first 12 hours or so. Of course, there are many reasons for hysterectomies other than fibroids. But Dr. Brian McDonough reports that this procedure looks like it will be able to be used for most cases of fibroids, even the most complex ones. 7:37 now. When we come right back, investment strategies for a bull market. Are they right for you? The answer in today's edition of Making Money with Melanie. But up next, a new family film takes off on a wing and a prayer. But does Pauly have what it takes to fly high at the box office? Bill Wine swoops in with his review, and Good Day Philadelphia comes right back.
Good Day Philadelphia is brought to you in part by Y100, Philadelphia's new music alternative.
A Y100 Beetle. Y100 Beetle. A Y100 Beetle.
Tune into Y100, 100.3 FM, tomorrow morning at 7:10. You could win one of 5. That's right, 5 Y100 Beetles.
Might as well be driving a Y100 Beetle.
From Philadelphia's new music alternative, Y100.
At First Plus, we'll beat any deal. Hey, if you're a homeowner, bring us your best deal on a fixed rate 125 no equity loan, and we'll beat it. No games, no gimmicks. Just the best deal on a fixed rate 125 home loan. At First Plus, there's no application fees, and even the phone call is free, so you've got nothing to lose. Before you close your loan with another lender, call First Plus, because we'll beat any deal. Call 1-800-510-PLUS. That's 1-800-510-PLUS.
It's your own little world. You're way up high, so you can see everything. It has lots of places to hide your treasures. It's roomy. It's cozy, with space for all your favorite things and your favorite people. It makes you feel like you're part of a club. Dodge Caravan. It's like a treehouse for grown-ups. Get a pair of Infinity home speakers when you buy or lease an Infinity-equipped Caravan.
A new and exciting weight loss medication has just been approved. Through extensive research and testing, it's been proven that this new medication does not have the same side effects or risks as those before it. And now only Nutrisystem combines this new medication with